All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We have finally arrived to the Renew Task Force Kickoff, October 2022. I'm super excited to have you all with us today. We have an amazing program for you. We had some amazing partners come together to provide this service through Renew, which stands for Racial Equity and Newly Empowered Workplaces. With that being said, I have the privilege of introducing our Director of Racial Equity for the Los Angeles Civil Rights Department, David Price. David Price, go ahead and take us away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ronell. Good afternoon. It is the afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is David Price. I serve as the Director of Racial Equity, as Ronell mentioned. Thank you so much for coming to be a part of this session, our first quarterly meeting for our Renew participants. This is a relaunch of the new Renew program. We hope that you would be on this journey with us, really to dive deep into the work of equity. So much is going on in the world right now as it relates to inequity. There are many places and many people, many moments that are happening where we see the inequities not only coming from the lips of many prominent people in the world today, but also really steeped into many of our institutions. Our hope here is that you will pledge with us to combat that, to combat the hate, to combat the discrimination, to combat the institutional forces that really seek to uneven the playing field. And so we are a department, we are a office committed to evening the playing field. And I want to introduce you to our leader who helps us to do that every single day. She has been working in the city of Los Angeles for many years in a number of important roles. And most recently, she has been appointed the executive director and the general manager of the Civil Human Rights and Equity Department. That is Capri Maddox. Capri, I'm going to turn the mic over to you to share a few words as well.
All right. Thank you so much, David. Thank you for your leadership. We're grateful for you and Ronell for lifting this work. My name is Capri Maddox. As many of you know, I'm the executive director of the Civil Human Rights and Equity Department, also known as LA Civil Rights. I am delighted to be here, and I especially want to give a shout out to our friends and partners at Annenberg. Let's talk about what, as well as the business community is leaning in with us here. And the last set of congratulations and thanks I really want to give is to never lose sight of the fact that we are here today because Andre Herden, who is the chief of staff for Mayor Garcetti, really leaned in and defined this program for us. So I want to quickly go to talk about our Office of Racial Equity that manages the Renew program. And some of you are aware it stands for Racial Equity and Newly Empowered Workplaces. The Renew Task Force came together through Mayor Garcetti's Executive Directive 27. Some of you are very familiar with it. And this executive directive is tasked with bringing together a broad coalition of private sector leaders around a concrete pledge to advance racial equity in their workforces. The Renew Pledge aims to secure commitments from employers in Los Angeles to make meaningful steps toward the hiring and upward promotion of Latinx and Black employees, as well as closing the racial pay gap. To learn more about this program, you can go to civilandhumanrights.lacity.org/renew. As you know, the LA Civil Rights, next slide, please. LA Civil Rights is on the front line of making our beloved LA a more equitable and inclusive place to live, work, and play. In addition to Renew, we also have the Repair Participatory Budgeting Program, which has $8.5 million set aside to give communities the power on how to decide how these dollars are spent. Currently, we are collecting ideas from residents in 3 neighborhoods. Boyle Heights is the first. The second is Southeast Los Angeles, that's South LA, east of the 110 freeway. And the third area is Mission Hills, Panorama City, North Hills. You should know the idea collection in these 3 neighborhoods will be heard until November the 6th. And then the community members will vote on their favorite idea to be funded. And next year, we will have 6 other neighborhoods from underserved and underrepresented neighborhoods to go through the similar process for additional funds. I just want to, as we go to the next slide, for you all to know that LA for All is our city's anti-hate campaign. As some of you see here, we had City Hall, US Bank, Union Station, 6th Street Bridge, and LAX lit up on September 22nd in honor of LA for All Day. And you all may be familiar with the signs. LA is for everyone. It's multicolored signs, and you will be seeing them in a number of places in Los Angeles. But you should know to date, we have already had LA for Everyone logos in over 5,000 locations. We're talking on bus shelters, buses, street banners, hanging from our street lights, et cetera. And we are continuing this campaign. And I just left a meeting with a council member, Coretta's office, as well as LAPD, to talk about how we're going to expand the LA for Everyone campaign in a number of communities, especially those hit by hate, even this weekend with the Jewish community, dealing with a number of challenges in those spaces. So I want to thank you again for joining us today, and I want to pass it on to our wonderful Principal Equity Strategist, Ronell Hampton, who walks the talk when it comes to justice and equity in Los Angeles. Thank you so much, Ronell.
Thank you, Capri, and thank you, David. Again, we're super excited to have you all here with us. But before I get into our program, I want to make space for us to introduce some of our partners who really were instrumental in making this effort happen. With the mayor's office and Kelvin, go ahead and jump in and introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. This is Ricardo Vasquez, Executive Officer in Mayor Garcetti's Office of Economic Development. Really a pleasure to be here and to see Renew get this wonderful relaunch. Pass it over to Calvin.
Awesome. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Calvin Self with the Annenberg Foundation. I lead an initiative here called Annenberg Tech. Yeah, I'm very excited to be here and so thrilled to see this momentum continuing from 2020. We can't say that for every initiative launched that year, and just really applaud the work to carry this forward. And thanks everyone for being here.
Awesome. Thank you both so much for your tireless commitment to uplifting this work, in addition to our other partners who we'll be talking about later. With Renew, the first year highlights, we definitely wanted to highlight some of the takeaways and some of the things we learned. But regarding the highlights with the program that we implemented in 21-22, we were able to impact 25,000 employees across several industries. We provided technical assistance for equity data collection and reporting software access. We also engaged participants through meetings, interviews with participants, and collected qualitative and quantitative data. We've also published the Renew 2021-22 qualitative report, which you will have access to by the end of the day if you haven't already. And we'll also make this presentation available for everyone today. Some of the participant reflections, some of them may be on this call, shout out to all of them. These are quotes, right? When you read the report, you may see some of this, but just to bring you all up to date on what we got from participants, here's a quote. We didn't have a culture of inclusion for sure. Renew kind of set that foundation. It paved the way for us to talk about normalizing inclusion in the workplace. It gave company an additional accountability on, right? And so these are the efforts that we're trying to achieve with Renew. We're trying to create that culture shift that everyone could benefit from. Many companies talked about how they did not have an existing DEI strategy. So with Renew, their targets became the North Star, right? We were able to support some of the companies who had challenge with identifying what that North Star would be, with supporting with identifying metrics they could work with. So again, shout out to Ricardo Vasquez from the Mayor's Office and Calvin Self from the Annenberg Foundation, who have been a part of this build out from the start. Some of the participant reflections that we incorporated into the restructuring of Renew. Some of the takeaways were that many of the participants wanted more frequent structured meetings with both Renew Task Force as well as other participating companies, so a peer engagement space. They wanted to celebrate more of the program publicly in the media, really just bring more attention to the work that's happening. And they wanted to have us provide workshops and programs to educate their firms on programs' importance, as well as encourage stakeholder alignment. So we wanted to incorporate these in the redesign of Renew. So what did we do? We added some additional partners. We created a Renew logo, which you all seen on that cover page, which is going to be supporting us with marketing and any type of media opportunity just to share the work that we're doing. We developed an interest survey so that we could better understand the needs of participant companies and also make sure that they get the access to the resources, information, and services that they need. And we added additional partners. Internally, we have LA Civil Rights Department, the Mayor's Office, Economic Workforce Development Department, the Bureau of Contract Administration, Los Angeles World Airports, and more recently, we brought on a partner, the Office of Procurement. So we're really excited about the partners that we have on board because they really support achieving this vision of procurement equity that we're going to be working with you all to support as well. So shout out to Annenberg, some external partners. Annenberg is really supporting us on many fronts. You know, a lot of things can't happen without funding, so we really appreciate them for that, but we also have them as a thought partner. So shout out to you, Kelvin, for all your support again with uplifting this. We have Pluto. Pluto is providing free technical assistance software, which many of the participant companies will have access to. And we're coordinating with academic partners. UCLA was instrumental in establishing the first year qualitative report, and we will continue partnerships with academic partners. So what are the benefits do you get as a business from participating in Renew? Well, we're creating a peer learning environment. You know, we can learn from each other, the challenges we face when we're doing this culture shift towards equity, but we also want to create a space where folks can ask questions. What are those best practices that are working amongst other companies? And how can it be adapted in a company that's just starting this journey? We are providing free access to equity management software. You'll have an opportunity to get public acknowledgement of your company's equity efforts. And we're providing resources to help you support companies with navigating city programs and services. Our hope is to offer workshops and training that will help companies on this call exhibit better best practices around procurement readiness, achieving equity outcomes in procurement, sub and prime contracting opportunities, learning about different programs and services like preference bidding, and what type of resources like LA City tax incentive opportunities that exist for different companies that can benefit from it, right? What are local resources that companies that are trying to achieve equity, what are those resources that they can benefit from? We're trying to create that intimate space where those conversations can happen. So without further ado, I want to give space for some of our departments that are now partnering with this to speak about their programs and services that are relevant for procurement equity outcomes. We have several folks on the call today that will be presenting, as well as in the future, as we continue this work and this conversation, you'll get to meet more departments and more partners. So without further ado, I would like to hand it over to Daniel Cho from the Office of Procurement.
Hello, everyone. And also, can we have the next slide as well? I don't know if I'm still seeing the incorrect slide here, but.
Wow. Can y'all see my screen? It doesn't say Office of Procurement, City of Los Angeles?
Yes, we can see that.
Oh, wow. So it might be me. But with that said, I might actually have to log out and log back in because it seems to be I'm stuck. But I think our Chief Procurement Officer is here. Shannon, are you here?
I am, and I
Awesome.
can definitely start, and
Great.
I'll hand
I'll
it
reset.
back off to you. All
Great.
right.
I'll be right back. Thank you.
Stay tuned. Thank you for allowing us this time to meet with all of you and talk about all these important issues. We love the opportunity to talk a little bit about what we've been working on in the procurement space. This has been a big focus. This has actually been work I've been focused on for the last 7 years or so, 8 years. And it's really with the idea of streamlining procurement, making it accessible, educating the public on how to do business with us. So from those efforts of quite a few years ago now came the role of the Chief Procurement Officer. And this was actually born in Mayor Garcetti's administration and lived within his office until just this past July, where we transitioned over to the CAO's office, the City Administrative Officer's office. And that was critical because we didn't want to lose the momentum around this work. We knew that this was important. The reason we came to be, the focus that we had was to bring continuous improvement into this space, ensuring that all of our policies, processes, and technology would be the best and would serve our constituents, would serve our vendor community, would be easy to access by our procurement teams, our vendors. So that's really where we started, was trying to start gathering data. It's hard to believe that a city our size did not really have good data around procurement. So when we started asking about how much participation we had from any sector or any type of business, it was a very hard question to answer. That was something that was very decentralized, if measured at all. And that's really what we came in to do. So as part of our first phase, we actually relaunched or revamped our solicitation platform. And that is really laying the groundwork for the data collection and the transparency and equal access to our opportunities. So what we did is not only revamp it for ourselves internally, but we really expanded the capacity to include outside partners, regional partners, to participate with us in this space. Because as you know, are probably well aware, the city does not allow for set-asides. We have Prop 209 in place. We have our charter. We have other federal and state laws that prohibit us from set-asides. However, by allowing participation of other sectors onto our platform, they are not all hinged by the same requirements. And in addition to that, it is a way that we can assist our vendor community in getting equal access to the millions, or actually billions of dollars of procurement opportunities on this platform. So this was our first focus. You can kind of see the history of our office and then a little bit of the trajectory. But we started this operation back in 2015. Actually, the previous slide just kind of gives an idea of just how long we've been working on this. And sadly, that is how long some of these efforts take in a city as big as ours. So we're really excited that we've actually accomplished quite a bit in this space. And we're here to stay past the administration. We have a lot ahead of us, a lot of work. We want to work with all of you. We want to hear about what's working, what's not working. The data is going to give us the ability to create new programs, and we want them to be good programs. And it's also going to shed light on past programs and whether or not they've been successful. So I'm going to trust that Daniel has made his way back.
I'm back.
And probably can take off where I've left off, but I'm happy to jump in at any stage here. But we're really excited about what's ahead, what we're collecting, what it's going to mean for the future, and really hope we can get the participation from all of you. So thank you for the opportunity, and I'll hand it off to Daniel.
Awesome. And then Ronell, may we have next slide, please? Great, thank you. So just once again for today's, the purpose of today's session, and once again, we're really excited to be here as a part of, in partnership with Shred, as well as being able to talk to all of you here about, today it's going to be kind of an overview of RAMP, and as Shannon mentioned, it was a kind of a history and kind of an overview of the Office of Procurement, and kind of some of the maybe next couple quarterly topics we would love to do with this group is the next one particularly would be to have a policy listening feedback session. We really do at the Office of Procurement believe that, hearing the feedback from the business community, understanding the challenges of, doing business, finding a very diverse set of partners as well as vendors is crucial, and we want to hear the challenges that you may have in that space. So that essentially will help us to build future policies, and we would love to just take those things back as we consider potentially creating ordinances and making suggestions to City Council. And then the next quarterly topic after that will be a budget request that we actually have in this current budget cycle, which is the Office of Inclusion and Contractor Relations, and which is a office that will be looking at a lot of data, equity metrics, as well as the inclusion policy for the city, as well as helping other departments with reaching their goals and making sure that we as a city are doing our part in that space. So with that said, Renel, next slide, please. So we are extraordinarily excited to tell you all about the RAMP platform. And what is RAMP? RAMP stands for the Regional Alliance Marketplace for Procurement. And so next slide. So once again, the Regional Alliance Marketplace for Procurement, or RAMP for short, was an initiative from the City of Los Angeles and was designed to house both public and private solicitations, procurements on a single platform. This is really exciting because, as Shannon mentioned earlier in the presentation, the LA Bovin platform as of old was strictly just for city opportunities, city procurement opportunities. But in the creation of the RAMP platform, we have decided that we would like to make this a much more inclusive space, that we would like to open up our vendor portal as well as our vendor pool to both other municipalities and other private agencies that would like to use this platform to deliver and find other vendors that they may either subcontract with or do business with, as well as use the power of public data, which is something that we really do try to kind of promote here within the Office of Procurement, because all 80,000 of our vendors on LA or on RAMP are, that's a huge list of vendors that these private sectors as well as other municipalities can leverage to further their equity and inclusion goals within their contracting. So the idea was actually based from the London Olympics, where they actually had a platform called Compete for London. And that platform was designed to expand procurement opportunities for local small businesses across multiple classifications and just basically a wide variety of potential sizes of these opportunities. So yeah, and RAMP, we actually just launched this last February, and we're excited to say that it looks like we are on track to have about $10 billion of regional procurement spend to be on the platform. Most recently, we actually had LAUSD. LAUSD actually hop on. Thank you so much, Reginald. And they'll be actually utilizing our platform as well to post their opportunities and also leverage our vendor pool to make their outreach, and as well as hopefully get their procurements out there to our pool. So next slide, Renaud. Great. So once again, since the I guess the London Olympics, as you know, we in Los Angeles will be hosting the LA 2028 Olympics. And so, it's going to be a huge influx of private funding, as well as some great infrastructure opportunities that would be built in the city of Los Angeles. And so we are in preparation building this platform so that we can have this level of networking, as well as the just a place for both, once again, the public and private sector to post any opportunities that may arise. And so we've, well in advance of the 2020 Olympics, have built this platform so that we can get ready for the wealth of procurement opportunities that will be coming our way. And so in 2026, we have the FIFA World Cup. And then in 2028, we will also have once again, the LA 2028 Olympics. And so next slide. And so over here, you can see just a few of our corporate and public partners. As we mentioned before, LEOC is not on here, but LEOC was actually recently added onto our platform. But you see other municipalities such as the City of Long Beach, Metropolitan Water District. You also see LA County as well, or parts of LA County as well as the city family on here, as well as private sector such as Cedars-Sinai, the Dodgers, PCL Construction, City National Bank, and all of this represents a plethora of industries and sectors that are pledging to post on our platform and utilize, once again, the vendor portal and pools so that they can all have their opportunities on a single space and leverage each other and our data so that we can actually make the greatest impact with our procurement outreach. And that something else that we also want to throw in there as well is, albeit the city has specific laws, both federal, state, and local laws that prevent us from creating set-aside programs, that we can get into that in future conversations, but the city is utilizing the portal and the power of public data once again to open up the wealth of the 80,000 vendors, as well as the 20,000 specific certifications within our portal to help both the other private sector, which are not bound by the laws that we undergo as a public agency, to reach their diversity, equity, and inclusion goals, and also to help our municipal / governmental partners to increase their outreach potential as well. So overall, we do really see this as a win-win scenario, that this is truly a public-private partnership, and that we are trying to just really present to the community, to the region, a tool that will help everyone have a more impactful outreach, as well as utilize certified firms. So next slide, Renaud. So what makes RAMP unique for the small business community? So RAMP is a central location where small businesses may register for opportunities with public and private enterprises doing business in Los Angeles. It's, once again, a time-efficient thing for small business owners, like a one-stop hub, so that they can check for those opportunities for multiple companies in one place, both public and private. And RAMP has a greater variety of opportunities. Once again, it is, we're posting opportunities from the City of Long Beach. LAUC is going to be posting their opportunities shortly. And it really will be a place, hopefully, that becomes a one-stop shop, and something that makes the experience of finding opportunities easier for everyone. Something interesting, a point that we like to point out as well, or point we like to make, is with our I guess information that we receive in seeing when vendors actually research opportunities and actually take a look into when they're actually on our website. Funny enough, a lot of businesses actually hop on at 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, where, to look for these opportunities. And, it's because obviously staffing resources, small businesses don't actually have sometimes the staffing resources as well as manpower to, find opportunities. And they resort to burning the midnight oil to find any of these potential procurement opportunities. So for us as a government, we would love to, and we have created RAMP to act as a space to make it easier and level the playing field for everyone to get access to those opportunities. So further, more business classifications are on RAMP for small businesses outside of construction, maintenance, and other procurement opportunities. Although the city does, purchase a wide array of things, the private sector, they probably purchase things that we don't. For example, you can say like florists, or I guess more along the lines of catering, or you know, a lot of private event type of things. Private sector would probably be purchasing more of those types of goods and services from the business community. And you know, we want to really leverage this portal to kind of expand who else should be kind of registering onto our platform, so that they can have access to the opportunities that the private sector puts up as well. And further, buyers will be able to reach out directly to vendors by industry classifications, which are the North American Industry Classification Codes, and by small and diverse business certifications. So the business community, as well as the regional partners, can specifically reach out to, like we said, the next codes, as well as individually search out specific business certifications, whether it is WBE, Women Business Certifications, Minority Business Certifications, or, you know, I believe we have about like 13 different certifications that our regional partners can utilize to find our vendors. So with that said, we actually have a short video, and Renell, if we can switch over to the next slide, and we can watch this together.
Hi, my name is Kevin Ramsey, and I'm president of Alameda Construction Services. We've been in business since 1997. We are a site concrete contractor. We do curb and gutter, sidewalks, driveways, that type of work. We also do minor structural concrete. We use Ramp to find out about opportunities, and also when we're looking for work, we go to Ramp and search the site and see what opportunities are out there. And every agency in the city has their own contracts, but you can find out all about that when you register with Ramp, and then because that's where you go to look for the project. So all the city agencies put all of their bid opportunities in Ramp. The advice that I would recommend is keep the faith. You could do this. Find your opportunities. Find something that'll fit for your company. Find something that'll fit for your scope of work. The most important thing is to register in Ramp, because once you register in Ramp, then you find the opportunity. Sometimes the opportunity find you. You know, people are looking for you. So look in Ramp at least 2 or 3 times a week. Find the opportunity that you like. Put your proposal in, learn from your proposal, and do it again. Do it again, do it again, and then one of these times you're gonna get the opportunity to do it, and then once you do it, you do a good job so they can call you back. That's how we do our business. You know, we like to do repeat business with customers that like to do business with us. That's how you stay in business. That's how you get business with Ramp. It's a great opportunity. Don't miss out. Make sure you register, go there and look, and send your proposals in.
Awesome. Next slide. Awesome. So as you all heard from Mr. Ramsey, who once again is a really cool success story of just a contractor working with the city of Los Angeles, and starting from he was a small business, then he started subbing, as well as he became he did more and more jobs, and then he became and had the opportunity to become a prime contractor. And he's really taken his company, Alameda Construction, from a small, now he's actually acting as a prime, and he's doing a lot of amazing things he's doing it right. Basically finding opportunities, as you heard from him, and constantly trying and doing a great job, so that in any of the other potential opportunities that come his way, that he can provide those services provide those services. So on this slide you see Ramp. So Ramp is, once again, the solicitation portal for the public and private sector, and we'll just kind of go through the different, I guess, pages and the looks of the different pages within Ramp. So next page, please. So what you'll see here is RAMP actually has all of the cities and as well as the plethora of opportunities of our regional partners on here. And we have a section of just, I guess, new and upcoming opportunities that have just recently been posted. And you can go here to find, you know, whether it's Water and Power, the Bureau of Engineering, or Metropolitan Water District, LAUSD, any of our regional partners postings will appear here on the front page. But next slide. And so one of the I would actually say one of the most interesting things about the RAMP portal is the ability to look up business profiles. And can we go next slide? And so if you notice here, after clicking on the business profile tab, you actually have a whole range of filters that you can use to find vendors. And so on this page, we actually have our consultant, Infinity Government Procurement, and we'll actually take a look at his Jack's profile and see what information is contained within the vendor profile. And then next slide, please. So on this page, you can see that Infinity Government Procurement, it holds their BOVN or their RAMP ID, excuse me. It also holds their certifications, whether it's, I believe, Infinity Government Procurement actually has quite a few, as well as the hours of operation, an email address, phone number, as well as the general contact information, if you will. So next page. However, with RAMP, we actually have the ability to kind of dive in deeper, specifically into what a company does. And so on the top of the page, you'll see next codes, once again, which are those North American industry codes that show what areas of expertise your businesses provide. Further than that, you see the California entity number, as well as you know, how many employees that the company has. And we've actually, within the last about four months or so, have created the function to enter in a company's ethnicity. And so this is information that wasn't collected previously, but this is something that we have wanted to put in here so that we can better understand the demographics of our business community, and then therefore, hopefully also, if we notice that there are entities that are not certified, we can help funnel them into getting a certification as well. As also, if you go down, you see the work history. You can, as a business, you can list the work that you have done, and you can boast as / put kind of together some of the projects that you would like to kind of make known to other potential regional partners, as well as other agencies that might be interested in doing business with you. So next slide, please. So additionally, we do have another field that lets the vendor community input in previous contracts. So it's another way that we can just utilize a public platform to advertise the experience and just a business's kind of portfolio of work that they have done in the past. And so, yeah, so with all that said, and next page, please, next slide. And with all that said, to all of the businesses in here today, we would love to invite all of you to register onto RAMP, create your regional profile, fill it out with your next codes, fill it out with your, a bit of who you are and what you do, and apply for the certifications if you have not. And yeah, it's a great place once again to just be made aware of what's going on in terms of public and private procurement. And we just really do want to invite everyone to get on there. So with that said, we'll turn it back over to Ronell.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. And thank you, Shannon, for giving a dynamic presentation regarding the Office of Procurement and all of the amazing opportunities that exist for different renewed participants and other businesses in the city of LA. With that being said, I would like to hand it over to our amazing partners from the Office of Economic and Workforce Development Department. I believe we have Rosa Pinaloza and Giovanna Perez here.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you, Ronell. Thank you for having us on behalf of the Economic and Workforce Development Department. We want to thank you for having us on board, and most important, know that we are very supportive of all of the initiatives that you guys have going on. at the LA Civil Human Rights and Equity Department. And so with that, I'd like to pass it on over to my colleague, Giovanna Perez, who is going to be talking to you a little bit more about some of the available resources, for small businesses. Thank you. Giovanna.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, thank you so much for having us. I'm very excited to share resources that our department has available for businesses. So again, we are the Economic and Workforce Development Department. The vision of our department is to develop and implement programs and projects that yield thriving businesses and create job training and career opportunities for the city of LA. Next slide, please. Okay. So our aim is to really launch, build, and grow businesses. Our department offers cost-effective solutions to the city of LA's startup ventures and establish small and large businesses to help them be successful and competitive. So one of the resources that we have available for businesses is our Business Response Unit, or BRU. So this team specifically provides aid to entrepreneurs and established businesses who are interested in obtaining permits and may have questions about what departments to reach, may need, just assistance in determining what permits they need, who to contact, someone to kind of really provide some assistance. And so this team will connect those folks with different city departments so that they can receive the assistance and information that they need to obtain those permits. And they also staff a variety of questions, any questions related to business services or just business matters, they can go ahead and reach out to our BRU team. Next slide, please. Okay. And then we have our wonderful Business Source Center system. So we this year actually launched a new center. So we now have 10 BSCs across the city of LA. Here you see a list of the 10 centers. So the centers are located in areas that are typically deemed underserviced, under-resourced. And so we're really proud to have these sites in these locations where they can really build the capacity of the existing businesses there and prospective businesses. And so, they offer free services and resources to support local small businesses and micro enterprises. And I would say most of the operators are nonprofit organizations. And again, I did share a couple, 2 flyers with you, Ronell. So I'm not sure if you can make that available to folks so that they can, contact their local BSC if they're interested in any of the services. And remember, they are free services. Next slide, please. Okay, so we're going to delve in a little bit deeper into the BSCs. So one of these are the components, right? These are kind of some of the overarching services and themes that they provide to businesses, startups, and existing businesses. So for example, in terms of training, they provide startup workshops. They have business-specific trainings such as fiscal management and accounting courses, marketing. Most have an entrepreneur training program. So it's a series of workshops where they assist entrepreneurs and basically help them with market research, permitting, and just, several services that someone in that phase would need. They provide one-on-one counseling. So that means strategic and comprehensive business planning, needs and market assessment, business plan development, site location and lease negotiation. They can also assist with e-commerce. And I'm really excited to just mention that we are currently in the process of finalizing a contract with someone for our LA Optimized program. So through that program, businesses will be able to receive a business technology audit and be connected with services to optimize their digital presence. So if they don't have a website, they'll be able to access assistance in building a website and also the content, right? So that they're effective in marketing business listings. And so that's one of our newest initiatives that will be implemented in the very near future. And that's very exciting. I also just want to add that we will be adding different components in terms of legal services. That's something that our BSCs will be able to provide referrals for legal services, and even credit counseling. So those are all really upcoming, exciting initiatives that will be delivered via our BSC system. So and specifically discussing, sorry, we're still on the previous one. So in terms of contracting support, our BSCs do help businesses with registering on RAMP. So like it was mentioned before, if you're not registered and you may not know where to start or what you need, please do reach out to the BSCs. They'll be able to guide you through the process and assist you in registering for RAMP. They can help you, add your profile, identify your NAICS codes, just provide that technical assistance that sometimes we need. They also can provide guidance on the bidding process. So just overall, the way that the city has the bidding process, and they can help you through that. They can also help with review of requests for proposal and requests for statement of qualifications, kind of, guiding you through the process, and at a high level, providing some guidance, some overview, some feedback, so that you feel more confident in your approach to submitting when you're answering to these RFPs. And they also do provide assistance with certifications. So if you are not very familiar with the different certifications, they can let you know which ones you would be eligible to apply for. It can help you with gathering documentation and kind of just providing that technical assistance so that you can be successful in obtaining certifications if you're eligible for that. And next, they are very capable in, sorry, I'm still on the same slide. So next we have loan packaging support. So we really pride ourselves in the system. So during, during COVID, as businesses were struggling and SBA was releasing funds for them to, to stabilize and just kind of stay open, our BSC system was integral in helping those folks package their applications and, their loan applications, and help them acquire or obtain those funds so that they could stay open and retain staff. So they were, we're really proud of the work that they did in that respect. So again, the BSC staff can help you by, analyzing your financial position, the financial position of your business, demystifying loan qualifications and requirements, guiding you through that process, helping you submit, packaged or loan packaged to SBA or alternative financial services. And again, gathering documentation, which sometimes can be a challenge for folks. Lastly, we have lending. So some of our BSCs are actually community development financial institutions, or CDFIs. And so that they can lend themselves. So provide funding to their actual clients if they're eligible. So that's a huge asset. And we're glad that they are able to be part of our system. They can also help businesses seek capital. And they can also assess whether you'd be eligible to submit an application to our own program. So we have a microloan program and a major projects program, and maybe one or other two programs. So those programs are really designed for folks that maybe are not able to acquire funding through traditional lenders like Chase or Wells Fargo. And so you would start your journey with the BSC, and they would help you assess where your business is and what the best course of action is, what the best lender for your specific needs would be. So next slide, please. Thank you. And then I did want to share about our incubator. So we do fund, I believe it's 3 incubators, and these incubators support early stage entrepreneurs through cohort-based accelerator style incubator programs. They provide a platform to support businesses in development and growth through local community events and networking opportunities. Some incubators do provide mentoring, free office space, and other resources. And so please do take advantage of these programs. Again, they are free to City of LA startups or existing businesses. Next slide, please. Okay, So these are the incubators we were just discussing. So we have Lacey, which is Los Angeles Clean Tech Incubator. They are a nonprofit clean technology commercialization center focused on helping early stage clean technology companies, thereby creating green jobs and promoting an inclusive green economy. There is also Grid 110. It's a cohort-based startup accelerator-like program based in downtown. Their goal is to help startups scale at a stable trajectory to stimulate economic and community development in underserved areas in the LA area. And lastly, we have Braid Theory. They are an advisory firm that supports science and engineering-led companies. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up some of the resources that we've selected to share with you all today. Again, you know, these services are free. We're here to support businesses. We welcome you to visit us. Our website is listed on the screen. We have a phone number, and then there is the link for our business source centers. We have a lot of wonderful free resources and services that are available. And so please take advantage of them. And thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ivana and Rosa, for this amazing presentation and for sharing all of this awesome information that the Economic and Workforce Development Department has to offer. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So again, this space is for Renew participants, folks who are interested in Renew. And for those who are wondering what is Renew, Renew stands for, again, Racial Equity and Newly Empowered Workplaces. And the task force supports companies with the commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion by providing that technical assistance to measure the company's commitment and outcomes, as well as connect them to the city resources we've been talking about related to procurement, contracting, and bidding. So Capri mentioned some of the goals that Renew is built upon and what we are trying to lift up in partnership with Renew participants. And it's around the 6 pillars. That is building, shape, and inclusive pipeline for equitable hiring processes across all levels and functions, create equitable development opportunities for retention and promotion, reduce and eradicate any like-for-like racial compensation gaps, build diverse procurement and vendor networks that support and promote equity, include minority groups with an equitable company portfolio and brand, and lastly, support organizations and communities advancing equity through communication, donations, and action. So these are the areas that we are focusing the 6 pillars around, and we're supporting this effort to achieve a 5-year aspirational goal, which is the percentages you see on the screen. So how are we doing that? We're doing it through a partnership with Pluto 5000. And with that being said, I'll hand it over to Pluto to talk about their platform, and we'll discuss how to be used to facilitate some of those outcome measurements we'll be looking at.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Ronell and team. I'm Martin, the CEO and CTO of Pluto 5000. If it wasn't techie enough, we've made it slightly more techie and nerdy. And I'm joined here with Erica, our COO, and Reggie, our Director of Operations. If you just give a little hi for a second. Great. And Pluto is a tech company focused on bringing privacy and respect /DEI, in case that wasn't clear, to the internet via data ownership based in our proprietary encryption technology. We're actually also currently, because of all of your work, the shout out again to Capri and the civil rights team, and also Calvin and Annenberg Tech, because of Renew and Pledge LA, we're actually going to be moving our official headquarters to LA. You know, we're hopefully one day we'll be giants, but you know, if we are, it's because of all of your work. And you know, many cities tried to get many of these programs off the ground, and it's hard work. And it's hard work that just gets harder over time. So congrats to you all. Truly, thank you. And we are building technology that is basically a trusted data intermediary. So we provide users and also organizations, we'll get to that in a moment, a secure way to own, store, and share information. And then we provide a barrier between them and the organizations that need to act on that data. It's awesome hearing that not only are all of you doing great work, But this is, Renew itself is evolving and iterating. Great logo, by the way, super cool. And, you can't iterate without data, and providing anonymized and aggregated insights in a way that protects individuals and individual entities is kind of our jam. And so if you go to the next slide, please. Thank you. We have basically a corporate data locker. That is what you all will be using. We can nerd out and we can field any questions, any of your InfoSec teams, any questions anyone has. We're happy to tell you how it works and what we're doing. But basically, at the end of the day, it is a system that can collect and hold data with the privacy and respect that it deserves. We're not asking, all of these things are not collecting trivial information. It is very valuable, secure information, and that is what our system is designed to do. It's not kind of a Google Forms. It's kind of a secured area that is just yours. And so we can talk more about that, but it's basically powered by our encryption technology. And to help us show how it actually works on the ground, I'm going to pass it over to my COO and co-founder, Erica.
Thanks, Martin. Renelle, if we can go to the next slide. So I just wanted to take a moment to give a quick overview about how the Renew metrics are actually collected and processed. I know that Renelle, David, Capri, Ricardo, and team, they've also been doing a lot of great work with making sure that companies really understand and put the support into place so that they also can provide these metrics. So that's a whole other, I think, area of work that they can go into to make sure that everybody feels supported in collecting the metrics and providing them. But on our side, and making sure that Renew metrics are also collected and processed in a really private and respectful way that Martin mentioned, we do have a number of metrics that were developed by the city, and big shout out also to Amir and team at BCG for their work in developing those metrics to measure the progress on those 6 pillars that were outlined earlier. So what happens here is that each participating company will be provided their own Pluto corporate data locker, and heavy emphasis that Renew Task Force does not have access to any data locker here. And so no access to any individual company data information. And through our platform, which we'll show you a quick screenshot of in a moment, each company can go ahead and submit and store those Renew metrics and where each company stands today. And it's only upon reaching a critical mass of data and after the data is run through our proprietary privacy algorithms, which ensures that, again, the companies cannot be individually identified in the aggregate data set. It's only when those things happen that Pluto will then provide anonymized aggregated data to the Renew Task Force. So Renelle, next slide. So just a quick overview of how that data collection and processing works. It's a very simple process. Once any company wants to participate, they will be designated their own approved admin. So here are the admins and their email addresses that we would like to actually submit this data. They, again, will be the admins to access this corporate data locker. Very easy to navigate through. You can kind of just view all the metrics that are requested here. Entries will be auto-saved, a very easy way to track completion as well. And so you can kind of just have this dashboard where you can see, the different pillars and how far along you are in submitting metrics to meet those requested metrics across each pillar. Next slide. And so each metric comes with this learn more button, just again, emphasizing that there will be guidance on how to provide the metrics. And again, if you need more understanding and want to communicate internally, exactly, because some of these metrics understand that not everyone is collecting these right now. And so again, just to have some guidance on how to even start understanding and what kind of numbers do you have to pull in order to calculate these. There's guidance on that. And then in case you need to collaborate with others within your org, there are buttons, you can enable sharing links or emails to other admins so that you can directly request their assistance with any given metric here. So from my understanding, this is just, again, not a demo, but we will also have separate training sessions where folks, if they have any questions, we'll walk them through the platform. So again, it's very easy to understand, and that you can just go in easily, save the metrics, and do not have to at all worry about any company being identifiable in those data sets. And we are also happy to answer any questions that anyone might have on that. So turn it back to Renell.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erica and Martin, for that presentation regarding the Pluto 5000 platform. We've done so much to make sure that we accounted for the confidentiality needed and the anonymity that is really important for a lot of the Renew participants. So thank you for going into details about that. To go into a little more detail about how we're managing it on the city side is we're collaborating with academic partners to analyze the anonymized data once it is reaching those thresholds, so that that can be developed into these annual reports that we'll be developing. So you all currently probably have read the qualitative report from the 2021-22 iteration of Renew. And so we'll be able to do a qualitative report every year. But to ensure that we're keeping the threshold accountable in relation to the quantitative data, we are going to be establishing a minimum threshold in collaboration with all of the Renew participants, so we understand when we should be making that quantitative data publicly available. And again, it will be anonymized at that time. So again, data collection is anonymous, and it is financially being sponsored by the Annenberg Foundation, which is supporting with the prevention of the CPRA request. The data is not owned by the city. So again, we've done a lot to ensure the protection of data for any Renew participants. Again, with the Pluto's platform and the information locker, that's a very powerful tool that we'll be leveraging as well. So thank you again, Pluto 5000, for that. So again, with the annual report, Pluto will provide anonymized data to the academic partner for analysis and reporting. The disaggregated data sets are only made available from Pluto to the designated officers of each organization respectively. The Renew Task Force will receive aggregated data when that threshold is reached. The Renew Task Force will review the data and select data points to include in the annual report. And again, when we talk about the Renew Task Force, it's our partners and the participants together. We're all the task force together. The first annual report was published in August 2022, and you all should have access to it, and we'll be sending it out after today's session. All right, so who's eligible for Renew, right? There's only two things that we're focusing on. We want this to be focused on companies who have Los Angeles residents as employees or who do contracts with the city of Los Angeles, right? And so why is Renew important? The benefits of Renew, we talked a lot about supporting your operationalizing of your equity commitment to diversity. We're offering the free access to Pluto software and its technical assistance support. Many companies have never collected equity data before, so you'll be in an environment where you can start this process with other folks who are on the journey with you and access software at no cost, right? So these are the ways that we're offering this opportunity. We're also providing framework and coaching to measure your diversity equity efforts. Again, free access to software that measures your equity efforts, direct connections to and assistance with city programs and businesses and services, and workshops and trainings. So it's a really holistic program that, yes, we are trying to collaborate to ensure, yes, we're achieving these equity outcome goals over a period of time, but we know that it requires resources, it requires support. So it is going to be a collaborative, collective impact effort with us going through this equity journey together. So what are the roles and responsibilities? With the Renew and city partners, we'll be coordinating workshops and roadmaps and peer engagement opportunities for all of the Renew participants. We'll be getting from you all through your participation in this process, key takeaways from each quarter, challenges that you may have faced with, engaging your internal company stakeholders or getting those metrics completed. And we'll be able to share amongst each other best practices from the participant experiences. Eventually, we'll be able to publish the quantitative and qualitative data reports and celebrate the progress towards equity we've accomplished together. And we'll also be making information available for programs, services, and events that the city is offering. You saw some of the departments speak on the opportunities that are coming down the pipeline. Thank you again for EWDD for being on the call today, as well as the Office of Procurement. We also have the Los Angeles World Airports as a partner who wasn't able to make it today. And we also have the Bureau of Contract Administration. So we have a lot of collaborators and partners making this a great experience for all of you. So with that said, what's next? Where are we at? How do you get involved? How do you stay informed on what's happening with Renew? You definitely want to complete this survey. I know some folks from the team are going to be putting that survey link in the chat for you all to attach yourselves to and go ahead and complete. It's a very quick survey. It'll allow us to see where you're at in your equity conversations, and then make sure we provide the relevant information for your business, wherever you're at in your journey. Again, this is going to be a great experience with all of us going through it together. Again, we want to make it easier for the businesses that, again, are on this commitment towards equity to access and navigate city services, because, again, these services that were mentioned today are really going to be important to achieve that. And you all need to know how to navigate them. So with that being said, we are at the launch. You'll be getting information soon for quarterly Renew meetings. You heard some of the topics that many of the departments intend to speak with you about. You know that we'll be having a peer engagement space with you all together to connect and share best practices amongst each other. And you'll be getting awareness of existing city programs and services. I really, really hope you enjoyed everything that was discussed today. And with that said, I'm going to open it up for any questions that you all may have. I know we covered a lot of information, but I do want to give some time for you all to ask any questions. There may be some, let me see if there's anything.
I think there was one question about registering on RAMP, whether or not nonprofits could. Yes, nonprofits can register on RAMP. We do have nonprofit opportunities, so please do.
I have a quick question.
Yes, chat.
Yes. So would businesses be able to sign up anytime between now and the first quarterly meeting, or how exactly, is it just a rolling enrollment, or how does it exactly work?
We do intend to keep it open as a rolling enrollment. So the goal is to have folks complete the survey, and through there, we'll be able to correspond with folks and get them the necessary invitations and invites to our quarterly programs and engagements.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Mm-hmm. No, thank you, Chad.
I have a quick question about contracting turnaround times. Because I know that if we're lucky enough to win a bid, what's like the turnaround time like for awarding a contract if you win a bid?
That is case by case, right? Once you register on RAMP, every opportunity that you apply for will be, you would have the individual I guess bid requirements. Each of those may be different. So I would defer to the person who's offering the opportunity for that specific question.
Right now, you have one question from Renato, who has his hand raised.
Okay, can you go ahead and come off of mute, Renato? Or if it's in the chat, I can read it for you. For some reason, I'm not seeing the hands raised. Okay, cool. I do see it now. Renato, feel free to come off mute.
Yeah, I had a really quick question. So what it will benefit for the nonprofits, the 501c3, is it there's contract for that, or is only mostly for companies to like, you know, other companies like, you know, security or other things? Also, there's other contracts for the nonprofits too.
Right. So one of the things that was mentioned was the NAICS codes. And so depending on your NAICS codes, when you register onto RAMP, every opportunity that's related to that NAICS code that your nonprofit or business or entity offers, you will be notified for those opportunities. So again, with your NAICS code, you want to make sure that all of the services that you offer from your businesses, that NAICS code reference for that service is also included on your LA RAMP profile so that you can get those corresponding opportunities for your NAICS code.
Okay, thank you.
And I just want to remind also that if you're a business that is large enough looking for businesses on RAMP, you can also partner with us and become a posting partner. So you might be a business looking to work with one of those businesses that are on RAMP, but you also might be a business large or small enough that you would be looking for vendors or soliciting to other vendors for your needs. Maybe you need roofers, maybe you need marketing teams. You can also be a partner on RAMP, so you can access that vendor pool as well. So it does go both ways, depending on what your needs are for your business.
Well, I know that was a very thorough informational. I really appreciate all the partners who joined us today and shared the amazing information and programs and services that the City of Los Angeles offers through its departments. I definitely want to give a shout out to the mayor's office and his team for all of the work that they've done with uplifting Renew. This actually came out of the mayor's office. We're just really privileged to keep it moving forward. Also want to give a shout out to Annenberg Foundation. We love our partners from the community, right? And Annenberg Foundation is doing so much great things. Annenberg Tech, especially Calvin, has been an amazing thought partner, and we have to give them credit for the amazing Renew logo. So shout out to Annenberg Foundation. This conversation is just beginning. So definitely make sure that you all are completing that survey, get on that listserv so that we can keep you informed on what's coming down with our quarterly events. This was an amazing first session, but again, this is just the beginning. We want to create a space where folks who are committed to this work and increasing equity and procurement opportunities get the support that they need in navigating the city resources and services and programs to do so. So again, take advantage of the resources that come with renewed participation. Organizations, events, and programs like this, especially at this scale and with city government, aren't happening often, as Martin alluded to, right? And so we definitely want to maximize participation in this initiative, and we hope you all welcome it with open arms to, again, go on this journey with us. Again, Renew, racial equity in newly empowered workplaces. It's only going to be possible with all of us together. So that concludes. We actually ended a little early today. I really appreciate, again, the partners that joined us. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, but I'll stay on